Hello, everybody, and good morning. Oh, good afternoon, and welcome to today's session. I hope you're all having a great Monday. I am super pumped this Monday for two things. The first reason why I'm super pumped is because I've got something that I'd really want to share with you, and it's on the t-shirt. So, can you see that? It reads Watoto. And I really want to share this with you because, one of the things that we do as a company is we want to make a difference in people's lives. And that's one thing that we've always said. So, wherever you've heard me talk, I've always said it's about making a difference in your world and in the world around you. Now, and all different people or different things come into your world, and you can make a decision at that point as to whether you want to make a difference in their life now and in their world. And over the weekend, I came across this group, and they are an actual ministry, and they've also got a spectacular children's choir. And as you all know, I absolutely love and adore children. I am, when it comes to children, I just want to be able to do something, be able to help. And since they've come into my world, I want to connect with their world, and I want to be able to make a difference in the children's life. So I am supporting with the t-shirt, and also gone a step further because we are supporting on a company level as well. So you will hear a little bit more from us in our newsletter that we send out this month as to how we're supporting the actual organization. But all you really need to know is that everything we do is going to help someone else. And where you make your investments, where you put your funds, all those sort of things, we take a portion of that to help another person, another community, struggling people. And we don't take it lightly, because we look to see the best people that kind of need our help, that also align up with the ideas that we have. And this is a community that works with women and children, and primarily children that have been abandoned, and also vulnerable women, which is what we're all about. So it aligns up 100% with our values, which is why we are coming on board and being part of this community. So if you want to know more information about Watoto itself, then they've got a website, but then we'll also have the information in our newsletter, and you're going to hear so much more from us in relation to this amazing organization and amazing children's choir. But for now, I know you haven't come to hear that. You've come to listen to the journey to fulfillment, and I'm going to take you through that today. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on board. I want to thank you that you are listening to this video at this point in time, or this Facebook Live. You're listening to me. And but this is a very, very important session to watch. And each of the different series that we do across the month of March is going to be for a specific group of people. And today, the group of people that I'm focusing on is those group of people that have not yet climbed on board. You're not yet on board. You're not an approved salon at this point in time, because it's important for you to kind of understand where we're at and where you're at, and also what it means to be where you're at. Because sometimes, you follow a path blindly, you don't know where it's going to end, you dip your toe in, you take your toe out, you do all those kind of things, and you don't know the consequences of those, if there are any consequences of your actions or inactions. So I want to take you through that journey and show you exactly what every step that you take means and translates to the steps that we take, so that when you are making your steps, you're making them from an informed position. And also when you decide not to make a step, you understand the impact that has on us as an organization, and the impact that it has on our world and the world around us. Because when we talk about making a difference in your world, sometimes you don't understand exactly what that means, because you just think, well, if I do something, It's something that you do that makes a difference, but it also is something that you don't do that makes a difference. So any decision that you make, whether you make a decision to move forward or you make a decision not to move at all, or you make a decision to move backwards, that has an impact on your world. And your world is literally anybody that you've engaged with. So at this point in time, if you are listening to this video, if you're listening to this Facebook Live, whether it's you're listening to it now as it's live, or you're listening to it afterwards, or you're listening to it on YouTube, it doesn't matter where you're listening to it. We are part of your world. You have made us part of your world because you are listening to it, and you can affect it. So you can therefore affect our world based on the things that you do. And this is what we call the journey to fulfillment. And we are talking about the first portion. This is those set of people that have engaged with our world and us with your world, and you're now looking at what to do next. So just listen to what I've got to say, process it, grab a cup of coffee. Hey, grab a cup of coffee if you need one. But most of all, I hope this really truly does bless you and helps to give you clarity on any thoughts that you may have. So without any further ado, let's go. Okay, so for those of you that don't already know, my name is Clara Alexander, and I am the person that you will generally see in the Facebook Live groups, because I am the ambassador for UltraStrands. And for those of you that don't already know me, I came from a corporate background, and I came in the line of duty in terms of hair, pretty much from a beauty perspective, more looking at it from people that just wanted hair extensions, those kind of things. So from a luxury point of view, and I moved more into the clients that required, that were struggling with their confidence, primarily when my mum had cancer. And then I moved from the wigs, which is what I initially started doing, and moved from wigs to doing more integrated solutions when a client came through my door for which I could not provide a service. I've always been a person that has wanted to make a difference in the lives of women. So anything that comes into my path in relation to women and children kind of pricks up my ears and makes me want to do something to make a difference in their life. So me being an ambassador for UltraStrands is really making a difference, or wanting to make a difference in your world and also in your world around you, so that you can make a difference in somebody else's world as well. And that's what it's all about. So UltraStrands itself is a product, and it's a product which I believe in strongly, because I do not get involved in things that I do not believe. And I do not get involved in things that I don't think will work. And I think that this is a product that does work. And I believe that so strongly and passionately that it changes people's lives. And, the minute I do not believe that it is a product that will change a person's life or change people's lives, that will be the day in which I will no longer be part of UltraStrands. But up until that point, as long as I continue to believe it, and I believe it from within my heart that this is the case, then I will be an advocate for UltraStrands and everything that UltraStrands stands for. And I'm in front of you today because I want to make a difference in your life, and I also want to be able to educate you. I'm all about passing on knowledge. It's all about giving you the ability so that you can make an informed decision in what manner, in what phase, in what stage that is. And today we're talking about the journey to fulfillment. And first of all, we are looking at the month of March. And on the month of March, we are saying on your march. On your march in the month of March. Now, I want to take you through the actual process that happens when we as a company engage with you, and also the things that happen that you don't see. There's some things that you see and there's some things that you don't see. But in understanding what you don't see is going to help you in doing the things that you do see, and actually determining how you move forward and how you progress. So the first thing is you meet us at the starting line. And what I mean here is that you will see something from us, whether it's a Facebook advert or it's a YouTube video, or it's you've gone into a salon and you've seen something. Whatever method it is, you will see something from us, and when you see something from us, we kind of are very strategic in the manner and the way in which we present ourselves to you. We're not overwhelming to a certain, let's say, hey, we're here, we're here. We're quite subtle. So anything that you see from us is either subtle or it has a balanced meaning behind it. So, for example, when I talk about a balanced meaning, one of the phrases that we use is taking back the glory to your crown, you know, and that is very subtle, because basically what it's saying to you is like saying, you know what, you need to start that respect that you'd lost for the crown that you had because you've lost your hair. You need to take it back. All the joy that you've lost because of the hair that is thinning, that is fine. You need to take it back, because you need to take that back in order to be able to move forward. So those are kind of like subtle things that we put in place. Or you might see a video of us pulling hair through, which we haven't actually said anything, but you're able to see that video and you're thinking, well, what's going on in this? What's happening? And when you read the information, you go, okay, now I get it. Now I understand. And this is what we call meeting at the starting point. So it's almost like an engagement point where you meet somebody for the first time, and you're looking at them, they're looking at you. You're trying to get an impression of that person. They've not yet spoken to you or done anything that's direct. They've made an impression. You see what they're wearing, you see their outfit, you see their shoes, and you make an impression on the way in which they stand, all those kind of things. So you've got that impression, and we just want to make that impression very subtle. We don't want to be in your face. So if you see anything from us that seems like it's in your face, then you know what? Please do let us know, because that's not the way in which we want to engage with you. That's not our starting position. Our starting position is something that is quite subtle, because again, we know that it is a subtle, it's a sensitive topic as well. And anybody that sees us, it may not necessarily be a salon that sees us first. It might just be an individual. So we want to make it very subtle so people can almost, kind of just take a step forward. Just a step forward. We're not talking about taking big leaps. We're not talking about jumping straight in. We're just saying, just lean forward. Just lean forward to what it is that we're saying. And by you leaning forward, that means that you're reading what we've put in front of you. You're reading the text. So, for instance, if you see us on Facebook, and you see the advert where you've got the person pulling the hair through, and then you read the text, that is you stepping forward. That is you taking a step forward. That is you listening and going, I'm watching, listening, and looking and going, okay, I'm going to read what this person has said. Now, in the background, for us, what we are saying to you is, hey, this is something that we think you're going to be interested in. And if you're interested in, then take a read. And then the next thing, once you've taken a read, is we want you to enroll. And now when you enroll, it does not mean that you have made a commitment. All it is you're saying to us that actually, I kind of like what you're talking about, but I want to know more. That is the first stage. That is why you will see in many of the adverts that we have a call to action which says, join the webinar, join our Facebook group. There's all different types of call to actions that we do. And that's what I was trying to say to you. Just enroll, just step on board. And if you notice, there's a lot of times when you'll hear me say, climb on board, climb on board, climb on board, because I want you to see that it's an actual movement that you're doing. You're moving from a stationary position and you're getting ready to move into, into a walking position, running position, and all those things you can do at different paces. But you are actually making movement. So when I say take a step forward, that's a movement. You're not at the same position where you were when you were at the starting line. You're preparing yourself for something. And if you then decide to enroll, then that's you saying, well, you know what? Actually, I want to be part of this race. I want to be part of this race. That's all it's saying. I want to be part of this race. So we say, meet us at the starting line, size us up from that point of view, because sizing up is only based on the information that you can see in front of you. That's all you need to do. You do not need to go digging. Honestly, I tell you, you do not need to go digging. Just size us up. Just look at us and say, okay, does this outfit look like a kind of outfit that I want to get involved in? Read a little bit from the information that we give you, because we give you sufficient information, which means you don't need to go digging at this point. And you'll find out why you don't need to go digging in a little bit. Because when you enroll, there's three things that's going to happen when you enroll. The first thing is you've got access to our Facebook group. So when you go into the Facebook group, you can look at things galore. You can just go through the whole lot. The second thing that happens is that you can connect to any of our webinars. And the third thing that happens is that we can contact you. So the next stage, which is like after you've gone on your march, is the initiation. So once you've enrolled, what you will find is that we will then initiate with you. And our initiation comes in the form of an email. So we send through an email to you to say, hey, thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you so much for climbing on board. We already assume that you are going to take that step further. So we already say to you, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for coming on board. And our initiation process is not just one email, it's a couple of different emails. So we send you a couple of emails so that you can get a good understanding as to who we are, because we do not want you to jump in without being fully informed of what you're jumping into. We don't want you to jump into cold water if you think it's warm. We don't want you to jump into warm water if you think it's cold. That's not what we're about. We're about giving you so much information, so much value, so that you know what you're doing. So our initiation bit is via email, and there's two things that we do from initiation. First of all, we check to see, have you joined our Facebook group? So if you haven't joined our Facebook group, join our Facebook group, because in the Facebook group, you'll get lots of information. You'll get a lot of answers to your questions. You will get free teaching. You will get to see me every Monday. There's so many things that's going to happen in there that if you just read that on its own, and if you looked at all the demonstrations in there, you would be comfortable to be up to speed with what the product is all about and what the company is all about as well. You would already know that we're a company that wants to make a difference in someone else's life, that wants to make a difference in our world and in the world around us. You'll already know that. You'll already know that we're a company that stands out. You already know that we're a young company. You'll already know that I'm an ambassador for the company, and you'd already understand what UltraStrands does, how it works, how it's installed, all these sort of things. Because once you've initiated, then we start to send you information. Now we send you information via emails and also via the Facebook group. So we always urge you, go to the Facebook group, because there's going to be information there for you. Every week there's information there for you. In addition to that, you'll get series of emails. So for instance, if you've not been able to listen to our, or even come into our Facebook group, then you will get emails. You get emails for videos that you can see. You get emails for things that are relevant. For instance, there's an email that we've recently set up, and it talks about why the before and after images are going out of fashion. And that's something that is really, really, really relevant at this point in time. And it might be something that you've never heard of, but we know all these things because these are things that we do. These are things that we do on a continuous basis. Because also, me being an ambassador, I've also got clients as well. And the reason as to why I have my own clients is because I'm able to, on a continuous basis, learn from the client so that I can provide information to you on a continuous basis so that it's informed as well. I'm not just putting my finger in the ear from a sales point of view, or a person that's living or sitting on a high horse that has no kind of correlation to what actually happens on the ground, because I am on the ground every single week and I work with clients on a weekly basis, and I go through the issues and the struggles that they have. And indeed, the product is not the product today by itself. It's a product today by the clients that we've worked with, by the people that we've tested the product on, that have volunteered to be test cases, for people that have come back with comments, for people that have come back with improvements. All these things have made the product that it is today. So, and that is important. So it means that you don't have to go through the learning curve yourself, because we're going through it already. Doesn't mean that you're not going to hit things that we haven't hit, because everybody's different and everybody's clients are different. But it means that you're not on your own. So you can throw anything into the Facebook community, and the likelihood is that somebody has already been there, or somebody's going through it already, and you're helping somebody. The likelihood is that you're going to get a response, you're going to get an answer to it. So all these things that we're constantly looking for ways in which we can add value into your business. So when we send you the emails are there for like saying, hey, did you know about this? And hey, we experienced this. Hey, we think this is important for you. Hey, this is something about consultations. This is something about installations. This is something about business, all different things we share with you. But in that as well, what we do provide to you is an invitation. And our invitation is very simple. Our invitation is climb on board because you've heard enough, you've seen enough, and there's nothing else that you need to see. Or join our webinar. Now, our webinar is a way for you to actually engage with us directly in a very safe platform, because it's a location online which includes people that are wanting the same answers that you're looking for. They've read all the things on Facebook, they've seen the product, but then they still want to understand, well, how is this going to work for me? You talk about how it's going to work on a general level, but we want to know, how is it going to work for me? And this is what happens if you sign up to that invitation. So we recognize that there's a need for that invitation to go out. So we send you the invitation so that you can get you can make an informed decision at the end. So if you've seen us, if you've got our emails, if you've joined our Facebook group, and you're still thinking, you're still wondering, I urge you, join our webinars. Just join them. Join them. They're not that long. They're maximum an hour of your time. But what I would say to you is that it gives you the ability for you to make a true informed decision, because it gives you an opportunity to ask your questions. It's great asking questions via email, but being able to ask a question and listen to the response there and then, you know that either this person knows what they're talking about, you know that this is either the truth or not the truth. You can't fake a story. You can't fake the truth. The truth is the truth. And there is nothing that can compensate for that. So essentially, I would urge you that if you're at this stage and if you're thinking, I've got the information, I'm plugged into the Facebook groups, but I have not yet signed up to join a webinar, go to the website, www.ultrastrands.com, sign up to the webinar. Sign up to a webinar. I think they've already got March's series up already. So just sign up to one of the days, because they're also different times as well. And we'll be putting them on throughout the course of the year. But it's a great way in which to engage. Once you've joined a webinar, once you've listened to all the things that I've got to say, once you've listened to all the things that are in Facebook, once you've asked all your questions, this is when you get set. Can you remember when you were running those races at school and you were there at the starting line? You'd already enrolled for that race, so you knew you were going to do it. You knew you were going to start. You were at that starting line, position 1, position 2, position 3. And it's like, they've got the lady or the guy in the corner with the gun. And you hear, on your march, get set. At the point of get set, what do? You're preparing. You're looking around. You're checking your environment. You're looking to see who's on the left of you. You're looking to see who's on your right of you. You're looking to see ahead. This is what we call the checkpoint. You're making your checkpoint, and then you're making a review. When you check the point, it's a kind of like it's a stop in the road. It's that junction that you kind of like go, okay, I need to look at all the information that I have. I need to set it aside go through each step of them. Look at the things that are relevant to me. Look at the things that are not relevant to me. Look at the things that I've heard. Look at all the information that I've got. Compile them. That's your checkpoint. You're looking at them, you're checking, you're going from left, you're going to right, you're looking forward. That's your checkpoint. You're getting set. And then you've got to review. Now, with all the information that we send to you, now, I want to tell you on the flip side of what we send to you, we're very strategic. Every company is strategic in the things that they do. But we're strategic in the point that we give you everything we possibly can give you. There is nothing that is hidden. It is so transparent. We tell you about the prices. We give you everything that you need to know. We tell you what works. We tell you what doesn't work. We tell you how to do something well. We tell you what hasn't worked in the past for us. We tell you what has really worked for us. We tell you numbers. We give you figures. We give you everything that we believe is going to help you make that informed decision. But we can only go 80% of the way. The remaining 20% is entirely up to you, what you do. And which is why I say to you, review, make a review. Review all the information that you have. And then make a choice. Review and then make a choice. And the reason why we say make a choice is this. When you say to us that we're interested, we're such a company that, we want to invest our time in you. So it's the minute that you say, I'm interested, we focus on you. We go, okay, this person is interested and come on board. We're going to focus on you. What does that mean? That means that we kind of like almost close the door to anybody else that's in your area, in your realm, because what we don't want to be doing is focusing on too many people that are in the same area. So we focus on you and we close the door to potentially other people. But if you're in a scenario where you have not made a choice, where you are still in check, you're not even at checking, you've not checked, you're just in absorb, and you're not communicating to us where you are, then it's very difficult for us to move forward. And whilst you might be comfortable, remember what I was talking about how we're about making a difference in somebody else's world. What you're doing is you're making a difference in our world, but you're not making a difference in our world in a positive way. Because we're not then able to pass it forward. We're at a point of limbo because you've not made a choice. And what we don't want to do is go over your head and go, okay, that person's not made a choice, so we're just going to go over here. We don't want to do that. We don't operate like that. Which is why when we send you emails, there's a number of emails which we send you which are very much engaging. And as long as you engage with us, then for us, that means, okay, this person, it's important. This information makes sense. This information, is being assimilated. But when we don't know where you're at. So we have got a set of emails which we say to you and we ask you to make a choice. Where are you? We ask you the question, where do you sit with UltraStrands? Because again, we don't also want to bombard you things that you're not interested in. We're not in that business. We are not in the business where we say, where we keep bombarding you with emails on a continuous basis, on a daily basis. We know so many companies that are on that business, but we're not part of that business because we don't need to be. We only really want people that want to make a difference in somebody else's life, in somebody else's world, and believes that this product can do just that. If you don't believe that this product can do it, then honestly, it makes no sense in coming on board. It really doesn't make any sense in coming on board. But if you do, if you believe that UltraStrands as a product, UltraStrands as a business, UltraStrands as a service can make a difference in somebody else's world, if you truly believe that, like I believe that, then at this point, there becomes a time when you have to make a choice. And that choice is then going to determine what the next step's going to be. So, in my opinion, there's 3 choices that you can make. First choice, which is what we love. I love, for if anybody has come across us, has engaged in our world, has decided to enroll, has got ready, and is at the set mode, what I would love more than anything else is for you to start. For you to start the journey. So when that gun goes go, I'd want you to click the button and go. I'm ready. I'm going. You don't know where you're going to end up, because nobody that starts a race knows where they're going to end up, because if they did, they'd either start it or they won't start it. If you knew, if you were going to run the race, that you were going to be first, does anybody need to tell you to start? You're like, I've got this. It's in the bag. I've got it already. I'm going to win. So you go. Likewise, if you knew 100% that when you started the race, you were going to come last, and you're one of the people that want to come first all the time, you will not start. What will you do? You'll turn away, because you'll say, this is not for me. This is not the race for me. And you know what? As much as I would love you to start, I would also love you to turn away if it's not for you. I would love you to be able to go, this is not for me. Thank you very much, but it's not for me. And this is one of the questions that we ask you. We ask you, if we have no engagement or anything like that, we don't know whether you're opening our emails or if it's even getting to you or anything like that. If we have no idea, we will ask you the question. The reason being is because we want to be able to affect lives. And we've got so many people's lives that this product can affect. And as you heard before, and I was talking about Watoto, I can only really affect Watoto if we have clients, if we have salons. If we don't have that, we can't really affect it in the way like we'd want to affect it. Of course, I can go in and I can go for my personal pocket and sponsor a child or sponsor a mom or sponsor, part of the community, or even go myself and educate. Yes, I can do that. But with numbers, it makes a difference. And I want to be able to make a difference with numbers. And I believe that UltraStrands is a vehicle that can be used to make a difference in numbers. So if this is truly not for you, I would rather you say to us, this is not for me, and turn away, than ignore emails that you get. Because there's a reason we don't send emails to people that have not enrolled. We just don't. So the reason why we're sending you something is because you said, I'm interested in you. But it's okay to start off and think I'm going to run a race and then decide I'm not going to run it at all. That's perfectly okay. Nobody's going to think any less of you for doing that. In fact, we will respect you more for doing that, because it means that we're able to give somebody else that opportunity and give that chance to someone else. The third decision that you can make is to procrastinate. Now, procrastinating is many things. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe not today. Maybe tomorrow. I'll think about it. That's procrastination. But procrastination gets you almost nowhere. It is a decision that you can make, and one of the questions when we ask you is, one of the answers could well be that, you know what, yes, I'm interested, but I'm not ready to commit right now. And that's totally fine. Absolutely fine. We know where you are. We know that, yes, you like what the product is, but for some reason, you're not ready to commit, and I can't, and I don't want to force anybody to say yes or force anybody to say no. That's not what we stand for. But procrastination is probably the worst point to be in. And the reason why it's the worst point to be in is because, especially with UltraStrands, in some locations, in some products, it's fine, especially if you've got a product that has been going for years and years and years and years and years, and they are not making any changes, and they are, you know, where you see them this year, you'll see them the same place next year. So it doesn't really matter at what point you join on, they're exactly the same. You can procrastinate all day long. UltraStrands is different. UltraStrands is very different in that sense. And the thing with procrastination with UltraStrands is this. We are moving very fast. Already between November and now, the changes has been astronomical, if that's even a word. It's been so much. And let me even just take you through a few changes. First of all, the price. Anybody that joined before December will already know that the price for coming on board was just £97. Just £97 for climbing on board at that point was £97. Today, to climb on board, it is £497. You know, so not to say that anything has changed. The value has not changed. The value is exactly the same. It was always going to be priced at £497. But the people that joined before then were joining from a point of vision. They were joining from a point of, actually, you know what? I'm going to go. I don't know where this is going to end. I don't know whether I'm going to finish Trump. I don't know whether I'm going to finish last. I don't even know if I'm going to finish at all. I don't even know if the wool or the rug is going to get pulled from underneath my feet. I don't know any of these things, but from what I've heard so far, I want to start the race. And for that reason, the price point was at £97, because it's like you are looking at vision and you're believing in us at this early stage. And therefore, because you're believing in us at this early stage, the value that you are going to get is going to far exceed where you are at this point in time. It's like buying a piece of land. You know, when you buy a piece of land and the house is not yet built, it's cheaper than when you buy the land and the house is fully built. You pay more money for it. It's exactly the same concept. But with this house, or with this boat, or whatever you're climbing on board in relation to UltraStrand, we are moving so fast that the value that you are getting at this point is going to be so much more from if you're looking to join further down the line. And not only that, but the rules may well be different as well. So for instance, at this point in time, we're kind of like opening up the floodgates, and we're like saying, come on board, climb on board, climb on board, climb on board, climb on board, because we're very new. We don't have that many salons on board. We only started recruiting salons last year, you know, so we've only got a number of salons that have gone through the training program. There are some salons that are still in the training program that haven't come through to the other side, and there's some that haven't even started at all. But people are going through the process. There is going to become a time when we will start to ask the questions, where are you based? Oh, I'm based in New York. Oh, I'm really sorry. We've got somebody that's in New York already. Oh, I'm based in London. I'm really sorry. We've got someone based in London already. You're going to have to join the queue. We are not at that point yet. But this is the problem with procrastination. Procrastination does not mean that when you decide, or if you did decide to come back, you know, if you suddenly decided, you know, today is going to be the day that I'm going to join, it doesn't mean that you're going to be joining the same race. You're going to have to go all the way back through to the beginning, and you're going to have to hear or learn a different message. Now, for everybody that is on the race, it's a total different story, because you are part of that journey already. And once you're part of that journey, you just join. you just get added to. Everything else that we do, you get added to. You get more security, you get more stability, you get more sustained, you get more education, you get more marketing, you get more business, you get more knowledge, you get more of what you've joined. So the value that you have, the value that you joined at, you know, future-wise, there's still a lot more value that you're going to get. It's better that you, if you are thinking at this point to climb on board, it's better that you do right now. But if you think it's not for you, it's better that you turn away than you procrastinate. Because the other thing that procrastination does is it leaves you bitter. It leaves you thinking, I wish I had, I wish I had, I wish I had. I wish I'd done it at this point. If I'd done it at this point, then maybe if I'd done it then, you know. And these are the things, because the barriers to entry will get harder. I'm not just saying it. This is not a sales pitch at all. Like I've already said, you know, I would love you to either start or turn away. But when you're in the role of procrastination, the route or the entry or the barrier to entry will get tougher. It will. It's just the nature of the beast. It's just going to get tougher. And I really wouldn't want somebody that's listening to my voice at this point in time, that's been listening for the last 3 months, still procrastinating. Make a decision. Make a decision. Decide. Come on board or don't. Decide, is this a truthful company or not? Decide, do I want to put my money here or not? Decide, do I have value here or not? Decide, is this going to make a difference in somebody else's life or not? Decide, you know, is this for me or not? Decide, is it going to help my business or not? Make a decision. Yes or no. Yes or no. Yes or no. The time for procrastination is over. Stop procrastinating. And I'm going to keep harping on about this. Stop procrastinating. We make it super easy for you. We really, really do. Honestly, we do. I have never seen an organization make something so simple for people as this does. And the reason why we do it is because we really do want you to climb on board, because I see so much. I see so much potential, and I see the potential that you can bring to the company. I see what you can deliver. I see the benefits that you can bring to our organization. I see it all. But just because I see it doesn't mean that you can see it. Just because I believe it doesn't mean that you believe it. And I'm not here to try and make you believe it. I want you to believe it for yourself. So this message, like I said, is for those people that have not yet joined. And I'm not saying that once you join, it's going to be smooth sailing. That's not what I'm saying, because even when you run a race, it's not that easy. Running a race takes a lot of preparation. So even when you start the race, there's still going to be work to do to get you to the finishing line. And when we come to next week, I'm going to start talking to those of you that have come on board and you're in your early stages and you don't know what to do. You don't know what's the best way to move forward. I'm going to take you through step by step how you should navigate your way through the process. And then after that, I'm going to be talking to those of you that are seasoned, those of you that are on board, and you're thinking, okay, I'm on board, I'm ready. I've probably got my first couple of clients or so on and so forth. And I'm now looking to see how can I grow this. I'm going to be talking to you. Because the thing is that everybody, this video is so important, because if you decide to continue the journey, this video is going to be so relevant to you. Every single thing that we are doing in March is going to be so relevant to everybody that enrolls. Flat, point blank. I can tell you that for nothing. But this week, we're starting off with those of you that are either procrastinating or those of you that have just enrolled. Those of you that have not yet come on board and you start thinking what to do, what not to do. Bear in mind that every decision that you make has an impact on our world. And that impact can either be a positive impact or it can be a negative impact. And if you are about what we are about, which is making a positive impact in the world, our world and the world around us, then I just urge you, do the right thing. Either come on board, turn away. If you need to procrastinate, just don't procrastinate forever. Procrastinate for a short period of time and then make a decision to either start or turn away. Either way, it's okay. Either way, it's fine. But what you do by either starting or turning away is you actually do help us as an organization to move forward so that we can make a difference in someone else's world. And that's what it's all about. And it's all about taking that step, standing out and taking that first step. Because there are always going to be points across the way in which you can turn back. It doesn't mean that once you've started the journey, you can't turn around. Of course you can. It doesn't mean that once you start the journey, you can't stop. Of course you can. It doesn't mean once you start the journey, you can't have periods where you procrastinate. Of course you will. That will happen. But at least if you know you'll make a decision along the way, you know that you are making a positive impact either way on somebody else's life. And just as we are making an impact on the life of the children of Watoto village, I hope that you take this message on board from the depths of my heart as I'm speaking to you now, that you take this message on board and you either come on board or you turn away. And if you're turning away, please just let us know so that we can open the door for someone else that wants to come on board. Thank you so much. I know today's probably been the deepest session that I have done, and it's probably the most emotional session that I have done so far, because you may not see the bigger picture. You just see yourself in this almost like you see yourself in a funnel. And I'm talking to you right now, so not you in the third person, but you in the singular. You see yourself in a funnel and you think that you're making the difference by coming on board, but you don't also realize that you're making a difference by turning away. Because by you turning away, you saying no to something is going to allow for somebody else to say yes. But by you not doing anything at all puts us in a situation where we just don't know what to do. And I look forward and I see the children and I see the people that I want to impact, and I see the mothers and I see the wives and I see all of those things that this business wants to be able to impact. And that impacts me emotionally, because I'm thinking these people cannot see what it is we're trying to do, which is why I want to be able to open that world to you so that you can see where, what you do, how it impacts. So you can start to see how what you do impacts the world, how it impacts your world. So it's not just the world of people that have got fine hair, that have got thin hair. Yes, we impact them directly. Yes, we do. And I love to do that. I love to impact people that have lost their confidence. I know what it's like because I have been there. People that can't leave their homes, people that can't look in the mirror. I know what it's like because I have been there. But beyond that, impacting people that have had no start in life like I have had a start in life. People that have had no opportunity like I have had the opportunity. People that have been abandoned. People that have lost so much. This is what we're all about. And by you procrastinating and not saying yes and not saying no, these are the people's lives that you're impacting, because we're able to impact further. So my message, if you don't take anything else from what I'm saying today, my message is come on board, or turn away. And if you need to procrastinate, just don't stay there too long. Procrastinate for a short while and then make a decision to either come on board or turn away. That's it. And I hope I hope that has really made the start of the journey for coming on board for UltraStrands crystal clear to so many of you, and really helped to help you to make a decision either way. As I say, if you've got any questions, then please hit me up with them. And if you don't hit me up with them while I'm online, just do so when I'm offline. I always check for comments, so any comments that you may have, please do let us know. This is going to be shared across all our platforms because it's something that I really want people to understand, whether they're in the Facebook community or they're outside of the Facebook community. But if you're outside the Facebook community and you're looking and thinking of coming on board and you're thinking, what on earth is this all about? Just go to www.ultrastrands.com and it will become crystal clear for you. And hopefully, you can come on board and change lives. So you know what, guys? Who's up for changing lives? Who's up for making a difference? Who's up? I am, if you are. Are you ready to go? Because the gun's just gone. So on your march, get ready, go.